What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Performance Medicine Show. Still gathering a few questions here. Welcome, everybody. Roel, I see you, man. Great to see you over on YouTube. We're going to let some people come in. D. Lynn, what's going on? Great to see you. Hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I know I did. It was wonderful getting to see family, and we had as you guys know, Black Friday week is a huge week for performance medicine. So it was a busy week. Just right off the bat, I need to give everybody, all of our team in all 6 locations, just a huge shout out. Last week was super busy. And you guys handled it amazing. So huge shout out to the performance medicine team for such a wonderful week last week and working as hard as you did. Jack, what's going on, man? Looking forward to tonight. We got some great questions that came in. My man Steve is in the building. Steve, welcome. I see you're on YouTube. That's awesome. Great to see you, Steve. So we had a great day today. Katie, that's right. That's right. We had a big day today at Performance Weekly. Performance Weekly is our weekly newsletter. We curate all of our shows and content and put it into one email that goes out Tuesdays at around 1-ish or so, and had a lot of great shows go out today on the YouTube channel. Let me see if I can see here. I'm going to put this up because this was fun. The Anti-Aging Millennials. This is a new series we're doing with my brother and sister, Andy Rogers and Kelly Rogers. This is a super fun show, guys. They do a little Q&A here. They talk about how to schedule all the different treatments and procedures. As you guys know, you need to know when to get a chemical pill versus when to get Botox versus when to get something like oil therapy. They go through everything. They go over the timing of all those sorts of things in that episode of the Anti-Aging Millennials. If you're not a millennial, that show is still for you. If you're a baby boomer, I know we got some baby boomers in the building. Shout out to all the baby boomers. You guys can watch that as well. Super fun show. Roel, what's going on? Let's see. Barbara, hello. Great to see everybody. And then this one was a really interesting episode of the Common Sense MD. Dr. Rogers talks about alcohol, the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm interested to see what you guys think of that one. We're still kind of, waiting for some feedback in terms of, what people thought of it. I think Doc came at it from the perspective of, most people are still going to drink a little bit. And so I think that perspective was really cool. So you guys should check it out. Alcohol, the good, the bad, the ugly. How much is too much? He goes over light drinking versus, moderate drinking versus excessive drinking. And then the long-term effects that can have on your health. So be sure to check that out. Rita, welcome. Welcome in. Good to see everybody. This is a Performance Medicine Show. As you guys know, we do this every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. We're getting ready to get Doc in here. Let's see what else. Oh, we had Gina Penny, a good friend of our family. She's a pharmacist in Kingsport, and she has a skincare line called Youthful Effects. We talk about keeping your skin healthy affordably. And I was so appreciative that she came on the show and talked with me about this skincare line, about taking care of your skin without breaking the budget. So be sure to check that out. Get to know Gina. We love Gina Penny. We love the Markhams. So please check that out for us and give us some feedback. Thank you in advance, Gina, for coming on the show and hanging out with us there. So good to get to chat with her. And then I'm going to put this up because this is going to be fun, guys. I hope every one of you in Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol, Elizabethton, shout out to E-Town, Katie. can come take advantage of these classes with Lucas Schmidt, who is our Lucas. He is our Lucas, but he's also our nutrition coach. He's in the Johnson City office every single Wednesday. He is doing these group classes, as you can see here. Sugar-free sweet treats, keto and diabetic friendly is on December 7th. Healthy Hearty Italian, which sounds a little bit like me, December 14th, and then holiday meal prepping on the 21st. We're going to be putting this up a number of times throughout the show, so you guys can not only get to know Lucas, but also know that schedule. I know I'm probably going to be joining one of those classes. Not sure which yet, but I'll let you guys know. Anna, oh, thank you, Anna. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Dana, what's going on? We'll talk about leptin today. Lisa, thank you for sharing. All right, Doc, you ready to roll? All right, here we go. What's up?
Hey, Ben. How are you?
I am wonderful. Guys, as you guys know, this is the sign. When Doc comes in, we start the podcast. We put these episodes of the Performance Medicine Show on Outside the Box every single Tuesday as well. So if you miss it live, that's okay. But I will say I love hanging out with you guys live here every Tuesday night. Doc, I see we got Ike there. That's a little early, right?
Yeah, he wants to come in, but he's just sitting in my lap. So
does he not know that his segment is not until 7:57?
He doesn't take this show seriously, I don't think. He really doesn't.
How was your day?
We had a great day. Very busy. Great day.
Wonderful. Was it rainy where you are?
No, it's a nice day. Beautiful. Beautiful day.
Making sure I got my sound right.
We're supposed to have some bad storms tonight, though, so everybody be careful. They're supposed to roll through here.
Well, you know what that means. That means that Doc is not going to get a walk or a bike in tonight, which means we're going to bring the energy during the Performance Medicine Show. Is that right?
Right. That's right.
You think you could talk about leptin? Dana's wanting to talk about leptin a little bit. Guys, if you're with us live now, go ahead and put your question in the comment section. We're going to get to every single question tonight on the Performance Medicine Show. As you guys know, the first part where we take questions that came in throughout the week. And are you ready to get going?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. This first one is a life extension Cognitex question, but it also applies to all vitamins. So I really liked this question. I somewhat want to try the life extension Cognitex, but I'm a little hesitant. If there did happen to be a negative reaction, what could that possibly be? And some context here is after NAC making my heart race, I'm a little afraid of introducing new supplements. Totally with you here. So
that's a good question. Anytime you take anything, you could possibly feel bad from it, but I can tell you, I've never seen anybody feel bad on Cognitex. It's mostly phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylserine, and it's just a neurotransmitter enhancer, not related to NAC and acetylcysteine. So there's no relationship. So I wouldn't be hesitant to take it at all. I just wondered why NAC made your heart race. Occasionally I'll hear something. I heard something today. Somebody had some kind of crazy reaction to a medicine that I'd never heard of before. I forget what it was, but yeah, I wouldn't be hesitant at all to try it. I mean, you can always just try, taking one. You're supposed to take 2 to 3 of that a day. So just try one, take it with food, and then gradually build your way up to 2, or you can even take 3 a day. I take 2 a day. That's enough for me, but I think it's really helped my brain a lot. It's a lot better than the stuff you'll see advertised on TV, that's for sure. And but negative reaction, I don't think I've ever seen anybody even get nauseous on it. If you think of choline being in eggs, if you had a severe allergy to choline, which is in egg yolks, may be hesitant to take it. But otherwise, I can't think of anything else. Or even if you're on other medications like serotonin reuptake inhibitors, you could still be safe. It's not, you're not going to get serotonin syndrome or anything like that from it. So I'm really just amazed at the lack of side effects I've seen with these vitamins. And the other thing too, sometimes I'll tell people that have had a bad experience with any medication, take it from somebody who's been in anaphylactic shock, me, from the wrong dose of an allergy shot one time, back when they used to let you give them yourself. That's not a fun thing. So if you're really hesitant and have a history of severe reactions, I tell people just come in our lobby and take it while you're there and just wait a while if you're afraid of it. So we can watch you be there, just handle anything to have it. I mean, that's just way overboard, but I know some people that get a little paranoid about taking anything. So I say, hey, just come by the office, take it while you're there in the office. We'll watch you, make sure.
It's a great question. And what I'm hearing from you there is maybe don't take the full 3 per day, start at 1, see how you respond, and then add your way up. And you're only at 2.
Yeah, I just need 2 a day.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Thax, man, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. I've seen your comments today, actually. So huge shout out to you, man. Thanks so much for watching the shows. Robin, I see you, man. You're not a man. I'm sorry, Robin. Great to see you, Robin. Let's get to a question that came on Instagram. Would a previous stroke prevent someone from receiving HRT?
No, that's a good question though. No, there's a lot of misinformation about hormone replacement therapy. Certainly, I would not use oral estrogen or oral testosterone, which we don't do. We use creams, which bypass the liver, so they don't affect your clotting factor. So, using a cream or a pellet, you should not take an oral estrogen or testosterone. Now, oral natural progesterone is fine. But remember, these are plant-based, they're not synthetic. They're not metabolized through your liver. So, no. You may be on a blood thinner. If you are, and you're getting testosterone, I keep an eye on, say you're on Coumadin. Testosterone could affect your protimes if you're on Coumadin. If you're on one of the rare people that has to take Coumadin, which is a really potent blood thinner. It's actually rat poison, warfarin. But for most situations, no, it wouldn't be a contraindication as long as you use the creams and not the oral estrogen or testosterone. Great question, though. I get that question a lot.
Thank you so much for that question that came over on Instagram. And I know this is a question that we get often inside of the offices. Can you cure Hashimoto's with nutrition and natural supplements? I know a lot of people have thyroid stuff. So why don't you talk to us a little bit how you look at Hashimoto's?
Well, Hashimoto's is the most common autoimmune disease causing hypothyroidism. It's very common. I saw 3 or 4 today. But there's a lot of evidence. I have seen it revert, surely can. You need to read the book. I did a podcast on it. I'm blanking out on the name of the book right now. There's so many written about
what is that
thyroid. I'll get it for you and you can send it, the name of that book, but you need to read this book. It's actually written by naturopath that's really knowledgeable, has Hashimoto's herself. So, if you catch it early and you do all the right nutritional things, then possibly. You need to always look at your iodine levels and take the right supplements like selenium, zinc, and get on a really good autoimmune diet. So possibly, yeah, I have seen it being reversed.
And guys, I'm just looking this up. It's Hashimoto's thyroiditis, lifestyle interventions for finding and treating the root cause by Isabella Wentz, PharmD.
Isabella Wentz. Yeah, that's right.
Isabella
She's a
Wentz
PharmD
is
on
who
the
we're
nature
looking
pad.
for
Yeah,
there.
that's a great book. Great book. How'd you come up with that so quick?
I looked it up. I looked it up, guys. All right. So I think that does it for the questions that came in throughout the week. If I missed a question, please let me know. You can either shoot me an email, ben@performancemedicine.net, if you want to be anonymous. If not, go ahead and put it in the comments. We're going to jump into the questions in the comments now. All right, let's see where to start, guys. So if you have a question for Doc, go ahead and put it in the comments, and I'll see. Let's start with Dana. Interested to know what y'all think of leptin. For me, tell me a little bit about what leptin is, Doc.
Well, it's that gut hormone that tells you when you've had enough to eat. So it's part of that gut-brain reaction. So a lot of people have leptin resistance, kind of like you can have insulin resistance. So it doesn't really help a whole lot to check leptin levels. You can do it in the blood, but I quit doing them because it really didn't help me. And if you run any kind of test, if it's not really going to help you, then I wouldn't go the expense of paying for the test. I mean, there's some people that really just want to get into academia and they run it for those purposes, and that's fine. Be glad to do it. But a lot of times it's kind of like insulin. If the signaling gets worn out over a period of time, then it's not a really good marker for, when you're full. And you kind of, even though your leptin levels may be high, like your insulin levels may be, it won't signal that you're full. So, but there's ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. It tells you when to eat. So there's an interplay between those two, kind of like there's an interplay between estrogen and progesterone with hormones. But it is an important hormone. There's no doubt about it. But I don't have to check the levels much because I just don't find it to be really useful clinically in helping me get patients to lose weight. But it's a real thing. But read about leptin. It's a really interesting hormone, gut derived. And a lot of times if you heal your gut, your leptin levels will be more sensitive, tell you when you're full. So always go back to the gut. Make sure your gut's working well. Just like Hashimoto, same thing. The next question that popped up, Hashimoto's, you have to have a good gut.
And this is a follow-up from Dana here. She's heard there's a supplement that targets the leptin hormone. Do you think that's something worth trying? It sounds like you're not doing too much for leptin.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of supplements that claim they target the leptin hormone. I don't know which one you're talking about, but if you put it up there, if I know anything about it, maybe I'll be able to answer it. But a lot of them claim that they target the leptin hormone, but I haven't seen a lot of real evidence that they actually can lower your level. And again, if you're leptin resistant, if it's been going on for a long time, then it's not going to be real accurate for sure. It's just like a lot of things. If you could get a baseline level of anything before you have a problem, then it may be helpful to compare it. But I don't know. A lot of them claim that white kidney bean. There's some other ones that claim they do that, or Vengia, some of the supplements that claim that, but I'm just not sure. The only way to really find out is try it and see if it kind of, will activate that leptin hormone to tell you you're full. So hope that helps.
All right. Thank you for that, Dana. Let's get to question from Thax here, and Katie might be able to help us as well. So if Katie puts something in the comments, how we do. This is not the one I want. I wanted this one first. I'll get to that question, Thax, here in a second. Do you take patients from out of state?
Sure.
So we're doing a lot more telemedicine these days. Anything that you want to add to that, Doc?
No, we do. We do. We've done it since COVID. We've done a lot of telemedicine, and fortunately, nowadays, because of that you can treat patients from different states without actually having a license in that state. So that's been a good thing. I sure hope they don't take that back from us, because we treat quite a few out of state patients. Love to do it.
All right, so let's get to Thax. Other question here. What's your thoughts on gonadorelin?
I really don't know much about gonadorelin. It sounds like a peptide that stimulates testosterone production. I just don't have any experience using it. I'm sure it stimulates luteinizing hormone, I would think. I'll check it out, but none of, where I get our peptides from, I don't even know if that's available. So I have to do a little research on how it works, but it's got to be a testosterone stimulator. Oh yeah. Okay. Like an HCG alternative. Yeah. HCG is like luteinizing hormone. So, and HCG is a prescription medicine. It's a fertility drug, which we use a lot of to boost testosterone levels. So it sounds like gonadorelin may be one of those that you may not have to have a prescription for. I don't know. But, it's like luteinizing hormone, the hormone that is released by your pituitary, the signals of testicles to make more testosterone. So, it's probably works. This stuff works. It's kind of like Clomid. HCG I've found that works better in injection form. So I don't know if the gonadorelin is an injectable or an oral. I haven't found the HCG drops that are, I just haven't found over-the-counter drops, homeopathic, to work that well. They certainly don't work as well as the real stuff, which is actually a prescription medication. But that's a great question. I'll look gonadorelin up and see if it's available through one of our peptide pharmacies that we order from.
Thanks
In
so
theory,
much.
it's good. In theory, it sounds good.
All right. Thank you so much for that question, Thax. And I'm going to put this up here from Katie for any of the out-of-state people who are with us live tonight. We have paperwork emailed to the office before appointment. Thank you, Katie, for putting that in. Okay, let's get to another question here. Let's go to Roel. Roel is asking, Doctor, have you bought or used a cold plunge yet? I know the answer, but I don't know the why.
I haven't bought one. I've used one in a spa one time, but no, tell me more about it. I didn't know. I take a cold shower every day after I get out of my infrared sauna. So I like to know more about the cold plunge, and if you could get it in your house. A lot of times, like Ben used to take the ice baths all the time when you played tennis.
Yeah.
Those are really good. So, so I don't know if you're talking about something different as far as some new thing. Do you know much about it, Ben?
Well, I do know there are very similar to Sunlighten, which is a company that does the saunas. There are companies who they make these little plunges that are portable, and you can put them, outside your house, or a lot of people I've seen put them on their porch. But it's like an ice bath that that's a little bit quicker, I guess. But they're becoming a really big deal.
Interesting. That would be really refreshing. I'm gonna look into that.
What is it about the sauna or the heat to the cold thing? Like why does that work?
It stimulates your immune system. But I'll tell you, you need to have a good heart to do it, because it can really be jolting for a lot of people. And I'm sure that cold plunge is going to be way colder than my cold shower. So
Yeah.
as long as you have a good heart, I think it'd be a good stimulating, refreshing thing to do. And it kind of shuts down your pores too after you get out of an infrared sauna. So um, that's the thing about an infrared sauna. When you get out of it, if you take a warm shower and dress for work and all, you're still gonna be sweating after that. So I think for me, it shuts down my pores a little bit and just gives me a good feeling. Really energizes me.
Uh, if we have any cold plungers in here, please give us your thoughts. Thank you so much, Roel, for spurring that conversation. One of the things we love to do at the Performance Medicine Show is kind of see what everyone's up to, what they're doing, what they're getting a lot of benefit from. Again, this is as much for Doc and I as it is for the people watching this live. We get a ton of information out of the comments. So thank you guys. Thank you, Roel, for putting that in there. Let's see. Do I have a question? D. Lynn, let's see. Let's see if I can. Seems this is this a flu question? Okay, I'll just say it here because we're trying to be careful. Let me wait on that, D-Lynn. I'll wait on that for a second. I will not skip it, I promise. Let me move to...
We have to be careful what we say on the show.
Mary Sneezmus from my brother Mark. Holiday favorites like food, scented candles, wood fires, spike symptoms to allergens during the holidays. A live Christmas trees increase mold spores by 100% when it enters the home. Question is, what meds or supplements would you suggest to best treat allergies during the holidays?
I'll tell you, there's a good one. There's an over-the-counter one called D-Hist that we order that from. Gosh, which company is that we order that from? Oh gosh, maybe Katie will know, but that's a really good one if you want a supplement for it. Of course, you can always use Flonase, you can use Zyrtec, but if you want to do something natural, I think the D-Hist, and there's one called Astapro that's now over the counter. It's just a lighter version of Astelin nose spray that's prescription only. So if you just have a really runny nose and it won't stop, you can try that new Astapro. But Cofix is a thing Katie mentioned. That's more like a betadine thing when you get, it's not really for allergies. It's really more for preventing infection. If you're around people that are infected, you can squirt that up your nose and in your back of your throat. And it really is about 99% effective at killing bacteria and viruses. So always have some Cofix around your house. I certainly do. And if I ever start with a little sore throat or something, start spraying that in there. It seems to work. So, but gosh, D-Hist, that supplement, which I have some of, Kelly takes it and really likes it. She's got a lot of allergies. But it comes from, gosh, the same company I really like to order my omega-3s from. I'll put it up in a minute. It's a pretty well-known supplement company.
It's not orthomolecular, is it?
It is orthomolecular. Yeah, it is. Yeah, they make a good supplement called D-Hist.
Seems Roel has used D-Hist for his daughter. Thank you for putting that in, Roel. Seems we got Motaz in the building. Motaz, so good to have you here as always. Great to see you. I'm going to put this up from Dana. Zenith by Awakened is the supplement she's heard that targets leptin. I'm going to write that down just to check into that. Dana, thank you so much for
Zenith by Awakened. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out.
All right.
Zenith was an old TV. Back when I was a kid, there were Zenith TVs. I remember that because we had one.
Robin, it's so good to see you in here. I hate that I missed you today.
Hey,
I was in I miss seeing you in the West Knoxville office today, but happy late Thanksgiving. Hope you and Aaron had a wonderful one.
I talked to one
Rob,
of my patients today, Robin, and he said you were a superstar. He had a visit
and
with you and said you were a superstar. You're taking care of his gut, of course.
she has been dubbed the gut queen, not only by the providers at Performance Medicine, but also the patients with Performance Medicine. So, Robin, thank you for being here. She stars in Explain This. You guys need to check that out if you have not watched any of Robin's episodes called Explain This. Lots of helpful information in there. Let's see if we have a question here. Am I missing somebody? If not, we'll just keep chatting until we get a few more questions. I'll put this up from Katie for those who are wanting to dive a little bit more into the thyroid. This is from Isabella Winst. Hashimoto's thyroiditis, lifestyle interventions by finding and treating the root cause. That comment's in Facebook for the YouTube people.
That's a great comment, because I did see a patient this afternoon, a new patient who has Hashimoto's, and she has a sister that she wants to get tested for Hashimoto's because every woman in her family has it. So the question was, can she be tested for it and maybe prevent it? So yes, I'm going to have her come in for TPO and anti-thyroglobulin antibodies just to see if she's starting to perk those up a little bit. And if so, of course, get on zinc and selenium and maybe more of an autoimmune gluten-free diet and take care of the gut, and hopefully she won't develop it. It's always easier to prevent something than treat it, I think. But that came up this afternoon, as a matter of fact. So that was a great question.
So you can develop Hashimoto's, and what you're saying is you can actually maybe slow that down.
Yeah, maybe prevent it altogether. I mean, there's something that kicks these autoimmune processes off. I mean, like I've said many times, we're all walking around like a loaded gun. It's the environment that pulls the trigger, whether that's a food, gut dysfunction, a toxin you're exposed to, maybe a crisis in your life, a virus hits. I mean, I have a lot of people who have a bout of the flu and, boom, they have Hashimoto's, or they have pregnancy, which is stressful, and it can kick off Hashimoto's. Andy had a patient today called me about with Graves' disease. Had the opposite of Hashimoto's. It was still an autoimmune disease, but a large goiter and hyperthyroidism, which is a lot more serious condition than hypothyroidism.
Is it more important to respond to stress well, or I guess focusing on nutrition as well is another big deal in terms of not wanting to, have any environmental thing pull that trigger, because that always kind of, worries me about, autoimmune disease, because you just never know, what could pull the trigger.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There are advanced genetic testing that you can do to kind of predict things in a way. For example, they have a genetic test for type 1 diabetics that say you had a brother and sister that have diabetes type 1 like you do. You could actually get a blood test that would tell you whether or not you're going to come down with that.
That's crazy.
And I've seen it useful. I've seen it actually. There were a couple of people in this family that had type 1s. So the third sibling got the test. It was positive, but they were able, by lifestyle intervention, to hold off that type 1 diabetes by about 3 years. It came.
Wow.
It was inevitable, but they held it off for years because of the diet that they ate.
That's really interesting. Part of me's it'd be helpful to know, but part of me's, doesn't want to know. It's an interesting mindset, because I get the preventative aspect of it.
Yeah. I had a patient yesterday that had a first degree relative. It was Huntington's chorea, which is a direct genetic link. It's a 50-50.
Yeah.
But there's a test that'll tell you whether or not you're going to come down with that. She didn't want to take the test. She was on the good side of the genes instead of the bad side. But anyway, so it's kind of a thing that, some people just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the ApoE gene. Do you really want to know if you have the Alzheimer's gene? It doesn't really mean in that case, it doesn't mean you're going to get it. It just means you're about 12 times more likely to get it if you have a double mutation.
I see both. I see both sides. I get why you wouldn't get a test like that, and I also get why you would.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Motaz, we miss you. We miss you too, man. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Let's get to Stan's question.
Thank you.
Like I said, guys, if you have a question for Dr. Rogers, put them in the comments. We're going to stick around for a bit. I remember something was said about red light therapy. Did Dr. Rogers purchase the device, and what are the benefits of it, of using it?
Yeah, I do have it. Again, my infrared sauna has red lights in it, but I also did purchase a handheld red light device that you can use on your face to build collagen. So it's really good for skin. Actually, it's funny because Ben, when I sent you out to Las Vegas, you came back with this thing, and you said, "Dad, I bought this little handheld red light device, and I think you'll really like it. I bought it for the office."
Yeah.
And I said, "Thanks, Ben. I hope you got a good deal on it." And I'll show it to you right here.
Yeah,
it's funny because it's right here. This is my little red light. It looks like a shaver, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Ben goes, "I got a great deal on it. It was just $3,000." And I go, "Thanks a lot, Ben." But see the red light. See that you put that on your skin. Like I put it on my face like that, and it really rejuvenates your collagen.
I saw you.
I don't think it'd work on Ike through his hair, but yeah, you can. This red light therapy is pretty cool. Probably has a lot of it.
I saw you over the Thanksgiving break. You were in the sauna using that. Getting a little, double dose of infrared.
I know. That's why I look so young, Ben.
What is it that infrared does, out of curiosity?
It stimulates collagen for the most part.
So that's the main thing?
Yeah, it's also very healing. It's a healing light, and it's a feel-good light too. People think of it mostly as, for collagen for your skin, but it actually stimulates your immune system as well. It's that part of the spectrum that is really good. In combination with an infrared sauna, it's just amazing, really helpful.
D-Lynn, if you can email me that question, and what I'll do is we'll email you. It's just ben@performancemedicine.net. Thank you for that. All right, let's see. I don't think I've missed any questions so far. We won't go yet. We'll give you guys a little bit of time here. Let's see here. But while we have you, while we're waiting on some questions, I got to put my man up here again, Lucas Schmidt. I'm telling you, this is going to be fun. We're going to try to video it as well. I'm going to get so you guys can see it. This is happening December 7th, December 14th, and December 21st. Just $30 per class. It's happening at Performance Medicine of Johnson City. That's on East Watauga Street, as you can see. To sign up, call the Johnson City office, 423-328-3386. We'd love to see you guys there. I'm going to try to be there for at least one, but it starts December 7th, whichever one of these is interesting to you guys. Be sure to sign up. I know there's going to be limited seating, so be sure to check that out with Lucas. We're super excited about that. Are you going to go?
Me? I'm going to try to make that. Yeah, I'll tell you, Lucas is going to be a busy guy tomorrow. He's backlogged with patients right now. He's getting so popular that he is amazing. I mean, he's an amazing nutritionist. He's also a fitness nut, and he knows more about supplements than you and I will ever will know in our lifetime, probably. So, but he is an amazing guy. He knows it all. Whatever kind of diet you're thinking about doing, because everybody's different. Some people do good on carnivore, some people do good on keto, some people do good on just a diabetic diet. Some people, there's all kinds of different things out there, but he talks a lot about your gut and, what are you taking? And when you go see him, please have a list of what you've eaten in the past week, and he can kind of help you. But he has all kinds of shopping tips, meal preps. I had a patient today that, wanted to lose weight, and she's so busy that she doesn't have time, and she has teenage kids that eat a lot of junk food. So it's really hard on the moms, especially young moms. That's a group of women that I see frequently struggling with weight because, they have a baby or 2 or 3, and then they, which can throw their thyroid off, which it did hers. And they can also, slow your metabolism down. Plus you're busy taking care of everybody else. And plus most of them have a full-time job, and they're taking the kids to all these sporting events. And they don't have time to really prepare. So I'm going to try to get her hooked up with Lucas to prepare the meals and the snacks, like for the whole week. Otherwise you're going to eat bad. It's just, you have to be prepared for what you eat, especially in a situation like that. It's just really tough.
Caretaker syndrome, isn't it? Isn't that what they call it?
Yeah. It's tough.
It seems you cannot be there.
He can't make it.
You have to work.
Oh,
come on, man.
Bummer.
Katie, thank you. He's got to work. So dad will not be there.
Well,
you have to see some.
I hope you record it. I want to learn from it though.
I love it. Okay, let's get to Lisa here. I want to help Lisa out. Needing a lot of help with decreasing inflammation. I took the vitamin that helps decrease it forever and didn't feel any results. Anything else I can do to decrease inflammation? This is a common question. Inflammation is really at the root of a lot of disease.
Yeah, well, I always look at the gut first. If you've got leaky gut, a lot of gut problems, dysbiosis, which means you've got an imbalance in your good and bad bacteria in your gut, then that's the first place I try to straighten out. Now, the vitamin that helps decrease it forever, you may be talking about turmeric or curcumin, same thing, which is a great supplement for inflammation. But you try to find out what's causing it. A lot of times it's food. Sometimes it's arthritis, fibromyalgia. You may be dealing with the sequelae of Lyme disease. There's mold toxicity. There's heavy metal poisoning. So you definitely need a workup to see, what things look like. And, with that Cleveland heart panel that we do, there's several inflammatory markers on there. So it gives us a clue, and we follow those to see, if it's working or not. But you may have a little insulin resistance as well. Even leptin resistance, like we were talking about a little bit ago. So cooling the gut off for sure, taking the right, something, pre and probiotics, something like Digest Shield, and starting out there. I had a lady today that's really helping her leaky gut. She was really nothing. She had IBS-D, and she still got a ways to go, but we're going to get a GI map on her and look at everything. But start out with Digest Shield, and because it has so much in it for everything, it's not going to hurt you. But those are the main things you can do. Occasionally for somebody that has really severe arthritis or inflammation going on, I use a prescription anti-inflammatory. If I have to do that, meloxicam Mobic is my favorite one because it doesn't tend to upset your stomach, and it's just safer than taking the ibuprofen or naproxen, I think. Um, Another one's Celebrex. If you have sulfa allergies, you shouldn't take that one. But I tend to use more meloxicam in those kind of cases. But certainly look at the gut. I think curcumin's a great supplement for inflammation. Um, and the other thing people don't realize is stress causes inflammation. Um, Stress is really a big thing with people. I had a patient today that has dealt with lifelong stress, and it finally just came to kind of a breakdown point with her in the office. So she had to get on some prescription medications for it, but a lot of family history with tendency to have anxiety. So you like to get to the root cause of the problem. Sometimes counseling actually referred her to Dr. Branca, our PhD psychologist that works with us, and will help a lot. And then she needed medications, no doubt about it. When it gets that severe, you need medications. Another great, I actually saw another patient this afternoon that I hadn't seen in probably a year. Severe agoraphobic. And, I used to see her every month. Then we spaced it out to every 3 months. Nothing seemed to help much. So she came in today, and I bet I haven't seen her in a year. And this lady was so agoraphobic and so anxiety ridden that she could not leave her house. She could not even walk around the block, much less work. And so, I had to treat her with some pretty heavy medications just to help her get by, literally extreme agoraphobic. And that's not, it's not too unusual. But anyway, she came in today, and I hadn't seen her in such a long time, and she looked a lot better. And she told me that she'd finally come to realize that the anxiety and panic attacks, and she wasn't going to die going out of the house. So she finally came along that realization, did some breathing techniques, and now she's out of the house. She has a job.
That's incredible.
And in that job, she looked like a completely different person. In that job, she walks 20 to 30,000 steps a day. So I'm sure that's really good too. Can you imagine going from being housebound to walking that much? And actually, she had a smile on her face. We started her on a weaning process from some of the medications she's on. So that was just good to see. So there is hope, but some people need medications. Some people are so severe, they need medications for it. So I was really happy to see that result in somebody I was really just had seen for years with not much improvement, despite a lot of things, psychiatrist, psychologist, but she finally made that plunge. As a matter of fact, I told her, Ben, to watch your podcast with Jamie Winship on fear.
Yeah.
And she's going to watch that tonight. And
that's awesome.
Anxiety is so common. I told her again what I tell a lot of my patients like that I got a good tip from one of my psychology buddies. Something he tells his patients that I've come to use, that you can say, you're a unique individual, but your problems are not unique. So a lot of times people think they're the only ones suffering with that kind of problem. And when they realize that there's a lot of it out there, it kind of makes them feel better. That they're not the only one in the world that has this problem or this kind of problem. But Jamie is so good, and Ben, you're going to be working with him even more. So it's really going to be good. And finding your identity, fear. What are you afraid of?
I would encourage anybody who has ever struggled with anxiety to check out anything Jamie puts out. We've got, I think, 5 episodes on Outside the Box with Jamie Winship, all around this idea of living in your true identity. The way he walks you through fear is incredible. And I can say, like, it really does help you realize that there really isn't, anything to fear. And I hope this patient gets to see some of that.
I think that's what she finally started realizing.
That's awesome.
And she says, I want to just live my life, and she's doing it. So, but yeah, Jamie, I remember Jamie telling me there are only 2 innate fears that you're born with.
Yeah.
There's only 2 of them, and one of them is fear of falling, and the other one is fear of loud noises.
Yeah.
That really was surprising. All the other fears are acquired.
They're learned.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Learned. Yeah. Acquired through living.
I see, man, Steve, thank you so much. Lisa, that's incredible. Steve, that's unbelievable. Thank you so much for doing that for Lisa. Lisa, keep us posted. Let us know how you're doing with that. Microbiome shield and digest shield is that combo, man. We love that to hit any sort of inflammation. So Steve, that's incredible. Thank you so much.
I wish I'd have mentioned the microbiome shield as well. So digest shield is where I always start, but microbiome shield for periods is a really useful product. Steve, I did have a patient today that really helped them. Had some really good feedback on that just today with their IBSD. But in any event, thank you for your good YouTube videos on my new hobby, sourdough bread making.
Sourdough bread making.
Getting all this stuff you told me to get, and I need to feed my starter. So you need to let me know if I need to feed my starter.
Rule number 1. Oh,
there's that.
Yeah, that's microbiome shield right there. Lisa, that's what you'll be getting.
Complimentary bottle. Thank you, Steve.
That's amazing, Steve. Thank you so much.
But yeah, I need to know, Steve. I need to start feeding that thing because I finally got it out of the JC office this weekend, and so I've got almost all the ingredients. One of them I couldn't find in the grocery, but I didn't know it was going to be, such an onerous hobby. That's not easy. But your videos made it really look kind of fun, and I can't wait to start baking it to make. I think the whole house is going to smell better. I really do. Here's my starter. Here's my starter right here. This is my sourdough bread starter. And Steve, I did leave it out. They didn't put it right in the fridge the first day. The second day I got it in the fridge. So you need to let me know. I hope I didn't ruin another starter. So let me know. But I hope by Christmas time I've got my first loaf of sourdough bread.
Well, I know there's around 50 people here with us live tonight. We're anxious to see this sourdough bread making come to fruition here. You've got the starter. Now you just got to feed it. We'll keep everybody here posted.
Ben, if I get good at this, and if I get a Christmas bonus, I may fly everybody that's in here on this podcast tonight and present them in my home with a free loaf of sourdough bread that I've cooked. How about that? And maybe some eggnog.
For those who didn't catch that, we are a family of quotes. That's from Christmas Vacation. Okay, we got some questions asked to answer. We got to get to some of these. Okay, I'm going to get to Mark's here in a second. I want to get to Jay Jenkins, who's with us from Raleigh. Welcome in, Jay Jenkins. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. What can be done to reverse non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? Great question.
That is a great question. I have a good answer for you too. The answer is semaglutide, Ozempic, Mounjaro. It's shown great promise to reverse non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That's the best thing I've seen yet for it. And it also is very cardioprotective as well. I think that is the drug of the decade for sure. We use it so much for people to lose weight. And there's other minor things you can do like NAC and milk thistle and things like that. But of course, we always say, heal your gut first. First of all, heal your gut. But we've had so much luck with Ozempic, with decreasing those numbers for fatty alcoholic liver disease. I mean,
Mm.
a non-alcoholic. It's just amazing results. I think there's going to be so many indications for that drug in the next year or two. It's going to just be incredible. They've even approved it for kids to lose weight with. So so keep that in mind. You can't take it if you've had recurrent pancreatitis or medullary cancer of the thyroid, which is rare as hen's teeth. My brother's a thyroid surgeon. I don't think he's ever seen a case of it. And that was found in one rat, medullary cancer of the thyroid, or MEN syndrome number 2. But almost anybody can take it. So that's the newest thing I have for that, So great question.
Thank you
Great
for that,
question.
Jay Jenkins. Thank you for being
Did you
with
see,
us.
you might have seen my podcast today being on alcohol, the
Yeah,
good, the bad, and the ugly.
sure
Yeah, I hope
did.
that didn't ruin a lot of people's
There we go.
holidays. This is my bar right behind me. So
Yeah.
as you can tell, I'm a pretty heavy drinker. Not really.
That's what they call a green screen, folks.
Yeah, that's not my bar.
No, what I told everybody before you got on was, I think it's a really, you came at it with the from the perspective of, yes, most people watching this probably do drink, and it might not be, super reasonable to just cut out alcohol totally. And I thought you gave a really good explanation of how to go about, building alcohol into your life in a way that's not detrimental to your health. And it seems like it's all about, just understanding what your tolerances are, understanding, and just understanding the consequences and the risk that you're taking when you do drink.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting when you take a deep dive on, is red wine good for you? That kind of thing, resveratrol, the other stuff. But I really got a lot out of listening to Huberman's podcast 3 times.
Yeah.
He's a real smart guy at Stanford, but I really like his podcast on brains, and that's what you're talking about, affecting your brain function. So just really interesting subject.
I want to put this up here. I just ran across this. Jamie, thank you so much. This is super sweet.
Hey, Jamie.
We love you so much. Thank you for being here with us each Tuesday. And I want to put this up because I do have to say, what you need to tell Connor is he probably can't even cook sourdough bread. So that'll.
No, that's not me. I'm not really smart. That's definitely not me.
Thank you for putting that in there. Say hello to Connor for us. Okay, I want to get to this from Mark real quick, and we'll keep moving. The fungus is among us. Mark, you got a future in advertising, I think.
He does. I've used that line before too. I like that. It rhymes.
In October, the WHO said 4 species fungus were designated as threats of the highest priority. Let's see here. The agency urged surveillance of fungal pathogens and expand laboratory. Excuse me, guys, I'm getting a phone call. Sorry. The agency urged surveillance of fungal pathogens and expand laboratory capacity to screen for fungal diseases. What are your thoughts on this latest health threat? Any initial thoughts? And I think this is what. Okay, no, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rampant. It's something that we don't check enough for. That's one reason I like doing the GI map to look for that. But I haven't seen that particular alert going out, the WHO. But I guess you can take anything coming out of there with a grain of salt, I guess. But yeah, I mean, you need to look at, there's a lot of, gosh, I remember probably 35 years ago, I had a patient bring me a book called The Yeast Connection. And I thought she was nuts at the time. I hadn't been taught anything about that in medical school or residency. And I just thought it was totally off the wall. But it turns out, she brought me the book. I actually read it. And 35 years later, I'm realizing that, this is true. It can cause a lot of problems. Um, when you get yeast overgrowth, especially in your gut, it can cause you to act like you're inebriated. It can certainly set off all kinds of inflammatory things, and um, it's probably something we need to be more aware of. I mean, it seems like to me in medicine we've gotten away from treating infections like we used to, and a lot of times infections are at the root of a lot of the problems that we have. Whether it be um, Lyme disease, it's just so hard to ferret it out and to sort it out. Um, but a lot of times we'll actually sometimes empirically treat your gut with antifungals, um, to kind of see if it gets it better without doing all the extensive testing. But that's a great Mark, always kind of forward thinker, kind of a visionary. Um, but yeah, I suspect we're going to be hearing a lot more about this in the future, and we need to start paying attention to it. You're right. You're exactly right.
Uh,
Um,
Mark, thank you for putting that in there, and we'll keep we'll probably be talking more and more about stuff like that. I'm going to
yeah,
put this up.
fungus is not just on your toes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Stan's asking, does sourdough bread jack up your blood sugar? This is kind of why you've been interested in it. Is it's one of the only bread maybe that you tolerate well. What's your thoughts?
Personally, yeah. I mean, I've worn the Freestyle Libres just to see. I'm not a diabetic, just to see what things do, and it didn't bring mine up. Everybody's a little bit different, but that's the only type of bread I really will eat at times, really, because it just, it's gluten free. I know I've got a gluten sensitivity, which Digest Shield helps with, but I still try to avoid glutens as much as I can, along with dairy. But but yeah, it doesn't seem to do that. Out of all the breads, that's the only one. It's still carbs, so you have to look at it and see. But for me, it doesn't, and it seems to digest well. Um, I don't know if Steve has any other words of wisdom on that, because he's been baking sourdough bread and he's a health nut too. He's into the gut stuff for sure. Any other thoughts on the other advantages of when you eat bread, eating sourdough, which
Mm.
to me is the only one I'll eat. I just don't do well with the other types of breads, especially wheat bread. I mean, everybody says, "Well, I'm eating wheat bread with my sandwich." Well, guess what? That's probably worse than white bread. So there's a lot of misinformation. I'm eating my multi-grain bread. Well, guess what? Grains really aren't that great for you. So, um, but
Did you eat
everybody's a little
sourdough?
different.
So you ate sourdough bread while you were wearing your CGM?
I did. I checked out everything when I was wearing that, just to, see what would pop it up. The worst thing that popped it up for me
Yeah,
was a
this is interesting.
donut, was a
Yeah.
donut, and also a caramel macchiato coffee drink that I got at Starbucks one day. It really boomed it high. I think
That's
the
wild.
liquids boomed it faster than anything else. And you really want to avoid those spikes in sugar. It's not just your average sugar, your hemoglobin A1C that matters. It's the spikes, the time out of the threshold. Um,
Speaking of fluids, in that your episode today of the Common Sense MD was on alcohol. I wonder what like beer, because you said it's very penetrable.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
like
there's some that are a little less jacking up of your sugar, like vodka and gin are pretty low on the glycemic index. Tequila,
mm,
but things like beer um, seem to jack it up on me and most people. Uh, so certainly don't overdo the beer. I don't drink beer. There's too many glutens in it. The beer I drink is a gluten-free beer called Krabby's. If I ever take, need a real cold one.
Steve is saying long proof versus short proof breads are an interesting study. Gluteomorphines, highly addictive, are in both.
Man, Steve, that's a smart. I mean, I told you Steve was a smart guy.
I know. Exactly.
Can you kind of analyze what he just said on that, Ben? Hey, Steve, tell us that in layman's term. What does that mean?
Long proof versus short proof, I'm assuming is long, meaning it takes you longer to digest. Short, meaning it takes you a shorter period of time to digest. Gluteomorphines, I don't know what that is.
See, Steve's a smart guy, but he needs to put that in layman's terms.
This is layman's term. I love fresh sourdough bread. And
that is layman's term. I love it too. Boy, it's good. It smells good too. I may not eat that much of it, but I'm sure it's going to make the house smell really good.
Well, I'll tell you what, it better be smelling good because I see Barbara's going to come once you've cooked in. Mark's coming. Roel's coming. Deborah's coming. D. Lynn's coming. Donna's coming.
Wow. I'm going to fly everybody in here.
Steve's going to be there.
Yeah. We'll have a party. If my bonus comes in this year.
There you go. I love this.
And since I'm self-employed, I probably won't get a bonus this year. But.
Sugar and carbs equals inflammation for me. I'm with you there, Johnny.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay. Proofing sourdough, 10 hours. Wonder bread, 2 hours. Okay. So
what do you mean
they
by
cook
proofing?
It longer. They cook it like sourdough takes longer.
So you're cooking it for 10 hours? Are you saying the long, like it doesn't affect your sugars for 10 hours, whereas Wonder Bread in 2 hours? I'm not really sure about the proofing. Again, Steve, I need a little bit more layman's term in that to understand.
Well,
so I'm not the smartest doctor. Connor was wrong. That's not a smart doctor.
Motaz is coming.
Motaz, we're going to fly him in from Michigan. Man.
Katie might not be there. Katie might not show up because she knows the result is probably, well, I can't say that yet. I don't know. You could shock everybody.
I mean, who knows?
You could shock everybody.
You could give me a Christmas bonus.
Let me see here. You know what? I think, Matt, I think you're exactly right. In fact, we need to get Katie and Ike in a commercial. And I think that might be our most watched video
ever. That's a great idea. At least a picture of them. Yeah. I can't tell what that picture is there. It's too small, but
well, we need to get a commercial with Ike and Katie. I think that would be wonderful. But Matt, I completely agree with you. She absolutely nailed the Black Friday video. Let's see. Steve is saying proofing is the time it takes to develop and rise overnight. Okay. As in the recipe. Okay.
Proofing. Steve, I'm just now becoming a baker. I don't know those terms you have as a, gosh, you ran a restaurant for how long? Many years, decades, and you've been baking it for 30, 40 years. So I need to get these terms in my lingo. If you threw a lot of guitar lingo at me, I'd know what you're talking about. But, but the bread making, I'm still kind of short on. But thank you. Proofing, I got to put that in my.
Let's do this for Lisa real quick. Quickest way to bring a very low glucose up, minus currently 50. Thoughts on this?
Well, a lot of my diabetic patients say they drink a little milk or eat a little peanut butter, not candy. Of course, if you're a diabetic, you always keep some glucose tablets around. But if you want to do it in a very safe way, drink a little milk and maybe eat a little peanut butter. That's what my diabetic kids will do. Nice. They always keep a little glucose tablet around too, in case they really get symptomatic. Here he is.
Dr. Ike is in the building, guys. Lisa, thank you so much for that question. Motaz is saying he's willing to drive.
Well, definitely. Motaz, if you'll drive, I'm going to give you some extra sourdough for your family on the trip home.
Dr. Ike is here, guys. We're gonna call it a show. I don't think I've missed anything. D. Lynn, I'm gonna email you. So thank you for that. I'll make sure we get to that question for you. Let's see. I'm gonna put this up just for all the sourdough. Some apocryphal. Mark, you just did that for I wouldn't be able to.
Apocryphal. I think that's how you say that.
Apocryphal tales claim sourdough was a byproduct of beer making. Interesting. Super cool.
Makes sense.
Cool.
It makes sense. Wow.
Guys, we are going to call it a show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight and letting us hang out for an hour with y'all. Doc, anything else, man? Should we call?
No, I hope everybody has a great week and enjoys it, and bundle up tonight because it's going to storm. So be careful.
All right, so we're going to call it a show, guys. Dr. Ike has left. He made a short appearance. You have to really watch for him. All right, guys, as you guys know, we do this every single Tuesday, 7 p.m., the Performance Medicine Show. We answer your health and wellness questions. I'm going to put this up one more time. Holiday cooking classes are happening December 7th, December 14th, and December 21st with nutrition coach Lucas Schmidt in the Johnson City location. You will see this next week as well. So if you want to hang out with Lucas, Katie's going to be there. I'll be there for at least one. And we'll have fun learning how to cook some healthy stuff. Ike's there. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. You ready to do it? Are you doing the outro? No. All right, Pop. I appreciate you, man.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
Guys, we love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm looking for my outro. Where's my outro? Where's my outro, Ike? There it is. See you guys. We love you.
Don't go away.